dancing on her daddy's plane, and he's all, "Zah, zah, zah, zah." And I swear to you, he goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Jeffrey, what are you thinking of? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Soapfloor, the official gathering place for newbies, novices, and OG diehard fans of the golden age of primetime. I'm your host, Jed, viewing and reviewing one of the soapiest, sudsiest, mildly confusing episodes from 1984. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 35 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, be cool, quiet, or you will be kicked out. Because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soapfloor. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome back, party people, to another fun-filled edition of Soapfloor. I am still riding high of a Lily Mae Vegas residency. I'm gonna have to go back and see who wrote that episode. That was a dang good time, from top to bottom. But there was something about the episode that was just kind of nagging at me. It's not the obvious. The more I sleep on it, I'm not really worried about too much on the show. I'm excited to see how it unfolds. Maybe we'll have us a little cat fight. I don't know if Knots Landing has cat fights, but I feel like somebody need to check Abby and check her quick. Laura seems to be mounting up for something big, I think, but it wasn't that. I'm like, what is bothering me? And it comes down to Jackson Mobley, whatever his name is, Beebity Boo. I hope your day is shaping up well. Forgot to even talk to y'all, man. I'm so sorry. Hope your day is shaping up well. If you had a rough day, it's time to throw that thing in the back seat. We are watching and listening to our stories. We're back in Denver today, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like, something about Knots Landing made me run back to Dynasty, and I'm like, what is really bothering me? And I know what it is. Jackson Mobley on Knots Landing was Jack on Dynasty. Jack had a very brief cameo. I loved his voice. I love the sound of his voice. I love the cadence of his voice. I really enjoy hearing him talk. So when he had that scene, Jack, that is, had that scene with Blake and with Jeff, and he was going on and on about Topless Tony being a yokel, I was like, God, what really happened to Tony? I think that's what's been bogging. I think that's what's been dancing in the back of my mind. That was my thought when Topless Tony came as like he was AAA to help Jeff with his flat tire. Then he was acting all weird and stuff, talking about how he had a little bit of wine and passed out. What did y'all do to Tony? That was dancing in the back of my head the whole time I'm watching Knots Landing. So we're back on Dynasty to pick up where that story sort of left off. So go ahead and grab yourself something bubbly, refreshing, and bright. I know it's warming up here. God, I hope wherever you are in the world, you're still enjoying some remnants of a spring. I feel like summer is already here. Oh, put on your finest silk robe and let's jump into Season 4, Episode 18 of Dynasty, The Vigil. One of my listeners early on told me that Dallas and Dynasty, Falcon Crest, they all sort of shared writers from time to time. And I'm seeing now, more than ever, by the time we hit Season 4, the soap world is a very small world. We're getting cameos. I guess they're not cameos, but a lot of swapping with actors. So I suppose from time to time, we're going to get repeat titles. Especially when you go for the low-hanging fruit. Somebody literally watched 10 minutes of this and like, it's The Vigil. She's in a hospital bed, it's The Vigil. Fair enough. But I'm like, damn, didn't we just watch The Vigil? We did just watch The Vigil. Just 9 short episodes ago on the season premiere of Knots Landing, it was called The Vigil. So it's feeling like, to me, as a graduated novice, I would say, feels like Dallas, Knots Landing, lay the blueprint, whatever works, we're just going to kind of lather, rinse, repeat. We might add a few extra spices in just to change it up a little. I'm not going to lie. When I first watched it, I was like, this is a little bit boring, but it's actually not. I had a better time with the short scenes than I did the overall arcing story, but here it goes. To refresh your memory, when last we left, Fallon had just found out that Peter DeFilippes was a player, as her mother Alexis told her. Alexis had even called a princess and said, listen, Fallon, in not so many words, you're not a princess. And if a princess can get played, then a little narrow behind, wealthy girl from Colorado can also get played. You are no exception to the rule, honey. You are the rule. Fallon didn't want to hear that. Mother, you're jealous of me. Alexis is like, as if, but this is my daughter. I'm not going to break her confidence now. It is what it is. Fallon finds out that Peter has jumped ship. He has left the country and he wants absolutely nothing to do with her. She is devastated by this news and takes off on a 50-yard dash. She gets about halfway down the hall. Jeff is like, Fallon, stop, Fallon. So distraught. This is quite embarrassing when I think about this. This is the hotel owner. This woman allegedly came up with a brilliant idea of how to bring in people. It seems like she would be more of a people person. She's a traveled woman. She's an educated woman. I'm not even going to get into that today. But for whatever reason, her instincts tell her to just run. Run it off. Right about this time, a disgruntled drunk guy is getting kicked out of the bar. He's furious. This is a bear. I just had a little something to sip. You know, he's doing all the things. And they're like, yeah, boozy. Go ahead and get on. Go on. Get. They basically shoo him out the front door. It is abundantly clear that this man is drunker than a skunk. He is stumbling all over the place. And it doesn't matter. He's going to go jump in one of those land yachts they still made in 1984 and drive away. I guess they don't care. At La Mirage, they need the bar space. Anyway, Jeff is having a time trying to tackle down Fallon with his tennis arms. And I'm thinking tennis arms seems like they'd be pretty strong. Serena's serve is vicious. But Jeff is struggling. He is in church shoes. I'm going to give him a pass. Fallon is still sprinting towards, I assume, her car. Drunky is jumping into his land yacht to drive home. Blake is being driven by his driver in a limousine. So right as he pulls up, and remember, this is the last thing that happened on the last episode, Jeff and Fallon are a few feet or mere inches away from the front of this guy's Crown Vic. Their shocked looks. Oh my gosh. Blake jumps out of the limousine and says, oh my gosh. And that's exactly where this episode picks up. Oh my gosh. I immediately knew everything was okay because he's not freaking out. I thought, oh crap, Jeff got hit. Serves him right. Not that I'm saying he deserves it, but he dodged a bullet with the 3 blind fits of rage when Blake's car blew up. Nothing happened to Jeff. He was perfectly fine. But you know what he drank? He smoked. He absorbed all that mercuric oxide. Let the man live. So Blake has to, hoist himself up over the curb. I feel you, Blake, because sometimes my knees are like, eeh. He hoists himself over the curb. He manages to run to the driveway where the drunk guy is trying to plead with, I thought was an officer. He's in an officer's uniform, but I guess he's a security guard. Note the distinction. He's like, I didn't do anything. These people came out of nowhere. This isn't my fault. And the security guy's like, yeah, tell it to the cops. I was a little bit confused. Like, who are you? He's got on a cop's uniform. Anyway, we then see Fallon gracefully poured out on the black top, seemingly unconscious. Blake's like, what the heck happened, Jeff? And Jeff says, I don't know. She just came running out here. I tried to stop her. Put a pin in that, okay? Blake tells, not cop, hey, call an ambulance. He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. I'll go do that. Drunk guy is waiting to be arrested. Now, let's go over a few things here. I don't want to harp on this too long, and I certainly will never defend a drunk driver. However, he's not wrong. He did walk out in broad daylight. He was kicked out. He walked past valet. He walked right past security guard who had no problem allowing this man to enter his vehicle and operate said motor vehicle. But Fallon is lying in a very graceful pool of luxury and privilege. She is not bleeding. And for all intents and purposes, it doesn't seem like she was hit by the car. So I'm like, arrest me for operating a motor vehicle under 20 miles an hour, but I will not go to jail for hitting this woman. That's just what I'm saying. So by the time they get to the hospital, Blake has got on the horn. Blake is a fine phone man. I don't know what else to call it. He would make a hell of a secretary in another life because I guess he called from the car on a rotary phone. That's hilarious. He ends up calling a neurosurgeon, like one of the top ones in the country, who turns out to be a very striking, handsome black man. And I'm looking at him like, I know I've seen him in other stuff. And I know this because I kept admiring his I could tell like he probably had a fro at some point, but it's been cut down. It's got that beautiful moisturizer. The sheen is just looking like a whole snack. And he's got this thick Burt Reynolds mustache, an undefeated mustache. And that's what's sticking in my brain. Confession time. I remember growing up and going to, the hair aisle or the beauty supply store. And I always used to like to sneak around to where the boxes or the guys with the S curls were because everybody was fine. Now, this would have been in the 90s a little bit more, but I've seen the boxes in the 80s. I have like some Ebony magazines from back in the day. All the men were fine. I know we talk about people being 90s fine, but he is 80s fine. I'm like, oh, who is that? I can't quite put my finger on it. I know this man. I'm going to go look his name up after this, but Dr. Fine is in the building. And guess what he's not going to do? He's not going to coddle Blake. So Blake's like, well, why is she in a coma? Why is she knocked out? Dr. Fine says, well, he didn't say she was hit by a car. He says she has a slight fracture in the back of her skull, and because of that, she is in a coma. I don't know when she's going to come out. She doesn't seem to be hurt anywhere else. She's kind of checking out well, but she's in a coma. And Blake asked him a few more questions, and Doc's like, I don't know. So Blake says, well, what do you know? What I know he wanted to say is, I know one thing for certain, two things for sure. I am not the one, and you definitely don't want smoke with me, salt and pepper hair. Have a seat. But what he says instead is, listen, I'm the top neurosurgeon in the country. You certainly didn't bring me here to babysit your daughter. And I know for a fact that she's going to heal a lot quicker if you and I aren't clucking over her like some old hens. Why don't we chill? Why don't we let this play out? Like I said, she's fine. Her vitals are absolutely beautiful. She's going to wake up at some point. And Blake's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I didn't call you here to go off on you, but somebody's got to pay for this. Blake, without a lackey to go off on, is forced to remember why his daughter went darting into the parking lot into oncoming traffic, albeit 5-mile-per-hour traffic, but traffic nonetheless. Was she crazy? Was she sick? Was she insane? No, she was in love with that filthy, no good DeFilippes. What is defibrillators for government name? DeFilippes. I hate that B in his name. Needs to be DeVille. Anyway, Blake remembers that Peter had a lawyer. A scandalous lawyer at that. So Blake runs up on him at La Mirage. This man still has the audacity to be hanging out in the hotel on Fallon's dime. So Blake runs up on lawyer DeMaurier, and through gritted teeth, he tells him, you better tell me where Peter is right now, or I'm going to make you both pay. DeMaurier is like, oh my God, I'm so scared. But, unfortunately, Blake, we're both left holding the bag because Peter has left. He is on a plane now, or at least at the airport, on his way to a non-extradition friendly European country with Blake's money. Blake is not going to take this. He gets in his secretary bag. He calls the airport. Actually, he calls the operator and asks for the airport. Airport security calls him back and he's like, listen, airport security, knock down the entire Denver International Airport. Nobody in or out. There's a guy who took my baby's money. Sure, Blake. I'm right on top of that, Rose. I'm thinking, why wouldn't you call? I don't know who you would call to get the whole thing. Seems like you'd need the cops and not just the security guys. But as soon as they hear the name Blake Carrington, oh, sure, hup, I'll hop to it. Go ahead and take a swig before I tell you this, friend. I'm holding your hand while I say this. This is by far the most tragic part of this entire episode. Peter DeFilippes is an international playboy who has just swindled millions and millions of dollars from Colorado's second wealthiest man. Shout out to my new friend Byron for reminding us that Blake's money is the equivalent to like $1 billion now. He is so papered up. So think about this. Peter is fresh off of an amazing heist. He hit up one of the most recognizable names in the world, stole this man's money, left his daughter brokenhearted, talked cash crazy to everybody who worked for Blake and the police. And you know what this man does? This is so disrespectful. He walks into a Denver International Airport. He pulls out 2 or 3 forms of accurate, traceable forms of ID. He goes up to like the equivalent of the Southwest counter and buys a ticket. This fool, you just robbed one of the richest people in the world and you're flying coach? My God. Listen, if for no other reason than that, if I were Blake, I'd make sure he went to jail for that. What you're not going to do is rob me and then be economical with my money. So Blake, meanwhile, has sent the bolo out, telling everybody to be on the lookout for an unassuming, average height, mildly charming, blue-blood adjacent, vaguely European, non-blinking blonde man with a wafer-thin, boyish build. He's definitely cranky, he's crooked, and I guarantee you he's coked out of his mind. That's what I know. Now, it occurs to me on this episode for the first time that Peter's sort of dead behind the eyes presentation might not just be from the cocaine he's ingesting. It could be due to some medication he was actually prescribed. This is 1984. Maybe he'd gone through some things mentally. Maybe he's on that Adam thing. You know what I mean? He's not really on his meds. And so he sort of zones out from time to time, loses all of his personality. I don't know. I don't know if it is due to him taking his medication and then overly medicating with the other stuff, or is it the lack of his medication? I'm sure I don't know. But whatever it is, I have to believe it was synthetically induced because nobody can be this dumb, especially if you're an international playboy who has run game on a princess, for crying out loud. Because he's not flying first class. He has to go through security like the rest of the people in the Denver airport. There's a woman behind him. One of the extras look like she got Cowboy Carter tickets. She's going somewhere. I know she ain't going to Texas in that fur vest, but she's behind him looking country. Peter goes to the metal detector. It immediately goes off. He must have had a fresh bump because he's kind to the woman. Actually, that's why he's being kind. He's kind because the security person is a woman. And he goes, oh, it must be the keys. So he takes the keys out of his pocket. But while he's doing that on the conveyor belt x-ray machine thing, the security guard who's looking at the little scanner sees what he thinks is drug paraphernalia. So he pulls DeFilippes aside and he says, hey, sir, I'm sorry. I need you to open your attaché case. Now, this man loves booger sugar. He takes it everywhere with him. Do you know that this man does not have his booger sugar tightly in his breast pocket? This man has it in the attaché case. He is clearly too high to remember that because he opens a daggone case. Tell me why he's got needles. He's got a little thing to chop it up. He's got it all separated. He is a nice packer. He is very neatly packed. I'll give him that. And the security guard is kind of like, what? Okay. Could you lift your scarf, please? He's got a nudie magazine and a fresh bag of booger sugar. DeFilippes. What the? Sir. God. This is why crime doesn't pay. You got to be good or good at it. And guess what, sir? You're not good at it. So the cop is like, well, I mean, thank you for the free bus. Sir, I'm going to have to detain you. Peter's like, for what? My God, Peter. Take your medicine, Peter. That's why. Take your medicine. He had to be out of his mind. Well, right about this time, y'all, Blake arrives and he manages to stumble through the security checkpoint. He locks eyes with Peter before he lunges and attacks him. Well, okay. I promise I wouldn't lie to you. That's a very generous verb. He didn't actually lunge so much as he stumbled. Blake stumbles through security. And with the momentum of him tumbling over his own feet, he manages to slam into, actually, let me be real. We're not going to lie on this one. Blake's stunt double manages to slam into DeFilippes and take him down to the ground. Blake's stunt double then jumps up and sucker punches. I guess it's not a sucker punch if you see it coming. He punches DeFilippes' stunt double right square in his face. Pow! Tell me why this man goes flying back 15 feet. Bam! Slams into the check-in counter. He's like, oh my God, Blake, I can explain. Now, because of the exquisite fighting of Blake's stunt double, Blake is really feeling himself. So as a cop go to snatch up the filibuster and they hold Blake back, that's very cute. He clearly paid them to do that. He's saying through gritted teeth, my stunt double just whipped your ass. You are so lucky. I would have killed you. Well, Possibly. Now, I asked myself early on why Fallon would take off running, run 400 yards into oncoming, albeit glacial speeds, parking lot traffic. I guess she called herself run into her car. Carringtons have a horrible habit of running top speed towards things that aren't inherently dangerous and somehow ending up in a coma or on parole. Stephen ran 3.5 miles from the he was in the library, drunk, 3.5 miles to the swimming pool, tripped over his own 2 feet, splat-a-tat splashed in the pool, knocked himself out cold. Bam, now he's in a coma. Blake, in a drunken fit of rage, ran upstairs top speed, busted in Stephen's room, tripped and fell a man to death. What was that, Ted Denard? R.I.P. Ted Denard. Tripped and fell a man to death, ended up on parole. He seems to be off that now because he's doing great this episode. I'm like, how are they stumbling into all of this? So with that being said, I suppose Peter should be a little bit nervous. Blake might have actually killed him had just a little bit more momentum. I think because he was running flat-footed, he didn't have a lot of speed. He tripped over himself. Stunt double came in, handled business. But yeah, Peter, you are so lucky. You really are. Say what you will. Blake Carrington, Stephen Carrington, and Fallon Carrington Colby are running fallers. You know what I'm saying? So now we know if you see a Carrington running, havoc will be wreaked soon thereafter. Now, Adam and Alexis are a totally different ballgame. They would never. It is very clear that Adam takes after Alexis's side. First off, they're not going to run and sweat out that good hair that they put together. Number two, they're going to attack you with their words. They're going to verbally piss you off. They're going to be slick at the mouth. And you know what? They both got beat up for it. But I guess we can say that the jury is still out on Alexis when she and Crystal had that fist fight in the pond. I can't say she lost. Oh, but yeah, I forgot. Crystal did whoop her ass that one time in the apartment or in the little studio. She really did. And Adam, of course, we all remember, got beat up in what appeared to be a JCPenney catalog on the top floor of a brand new high-rise building. But was it Jeff's left hook or was it the shock and awe of him about to be a father? We'll never know. All I'm saying is the ACs, Alexis and Adam, will never, ever, ever end up in a coma because they tripped and fell over their own feet. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, we're all adults here. I think the evidence is clear. I think we can all agree that Fallon didn't trip over her own feet. Jeffrey pushed her in front of that car. Think about it. She was tearing out of the hotel. He was running behind her. He actually had her in his arms as a car was barreling towards him. My mind tells me that Jeff, who was fully in his right mind, is still a little miffed. Fallon was going to run around the world with this coked out playboy. So he's like, let me just teach her a lesson real quick, real fast. He was hoping the car was going to pummel into them. It didn't. What had happened was Jeffrey could see that the car was slowing down. Again, ladies and gentlemen, fan fiction or whatever you want to call this, this is how I see it. He saw the car slowing down. He realized that he had her safe in his arms. He could have just taken a step back. But then what lesson would be learned? No. Instead, he used those slicker than slick church shoes, those hard bottom shoes, to sweep her stilettos from beneath her. She's splat-a-tat-tatted, brain cracked on the blacktop. Bam. Now she's in a coma. We're going to get to Alexis here in a second. But Fallon is knocked out for 99% of this. Well, 90% of this episode. She's awake and says a little bit towards the end. It's basically different people coming into her room, just kind of checking on her. Now, I don't think, although Blake is pissed, he doesn't seem overly worried to me. Crystal don't seem all that bothered either, quite frankly. But Jeff is by her bedside and he starts having these flashbacks, all the memories and of the good times they had together, all 14 minutes total. And Jeff did something that was really weird. Let me ask you something, Fiends. When you remember a really good time in your life, say a surprise party, maybe you performed on stage one time, your first kiss, you won the race, something. Think of something like that. When you think back on that, do you look nerdy and dorky? Like, are you embarrassing? No, right? Jeff has the most embarrassing flashbacks ever. He's picturing he and Fallon dancing on her daddy's plane, and he's all, zuh, 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 zuh. And I swear to you, he goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Jeffrey, what are you thinking of? Then the other one is her telling him she wants babies. And he manages to nerd that out too. And I'm like, my God, Jeff. Who embarrasses themselves in their own memories and their own fantasies? I've never seen that. When I picture myself winning the Olympics, because every time I watch the Team USA backflip, mind you, I couldn't do a cartwheel. But in my head, I'm flipping over balance beams. It's real easy. I look amazing. I would never play myself in my own mind. Come on now. For the sake of accuracy, I did go back just to make sure I got the scene correct. Blake runs out of the car. He's, oh my God. He hoists himself up a little hill, runs over to Fallon, who has splatted that tat on the blacktop. Jeff is near the curb. So my theory stands, not only did he trip her, he definitely pushed her because he was at least 3 to 4 feet away from her. Oh my, oh my. Anyways, speaking of Olympics, Alexis has an Olympic-sized jacuzzi tub, and she likes to have a good time in it. On this episode specifically, with Dexter. They are lathering up after a very, very intense afternoon. They are soapy, sudsy, they're having a good time. Talking, the gist of it is, she's like, first off, don't ever say nothing sideways about my family. He's like, I love making up. She's like, yeah, that's great. Don't say anything sideways about my family. Don't ever disagree with me. Really simple, right? He then says, hey, so what's up with you and Blake? Like, Blake who? Ain't nobody worried about Blake. Let's go have some sushi. Although she's playing the long game, I think. I don't know what game she's playing. She's enjoying herself for the time. She and Dexter have matching robes on, which is adorable. She has this whole sushi layout, although the food looks a little gray. I have a theory on that. We'll talk about that another day. But they're having a good old time. She's like, don't worry about losing me because you never had me. It's all about the game. It's a power play. I want you to want me, but I don't necessarily want to admit that I want you. Phone rings. It's Crystal. Crystal's like, hey, Fallon's been in an accident. What? She quickly puts on her finest fur and runs down to the hospital to check on her baby girl. All right, I need to jump around just a little bit here so we can get to the good parts. Kirby is home from the hospital, and I bet she is so sick and tired of looking at these people. Crystal tries to come in and say, hey, the staff is whispering about you. They're calling this room your room. She's in the whatever room. Who cares? And she's like, oh, is that so? That's cute. Crystal tries to relate to her. Hey, listen, I've been where you've been. She said, listen, Crystal, I'm gonna stop you there, baby. I don't want to hear it. Appreciate you, but no thank you. Adam comes walking in. Everybody's super pleasant to Adam. Hey, Adam. Hi. Crystal excuses herself. Kirby's chilling on the couch, and it is very clear that she is resigned. She is resigned to having a not-so-hot life. She realized way too late that maybe she might have actually liked this kid. And now she's without. So she's sitting on the couch, and she tells Adam she's tired of looking for the best in life. And with that said, it's time to start living in reality. Accept my fate. I'll marry you. Now, Adam ignores all this. She goes, I'm marrying you. And I need you to understand, I don't want you. I don't actually like you. I'm just going to marry you. And he's all, yippee. Oh my God, Kirby. I don't care how long it takes. And you. I'm not going to go there. You're going to love me. No matter how, oh God, I can think of 15 love songs right there. He's feeling that. Let the record reflect. She is laying back like her back hurts. Like, okay, yeah, that's cute. I'm not going to like you, Adam. I'll marry you. It will be cold. It'll lack enthusiasm. It'll be disrespectful at times. I'm going to talk about you being off your meds, but it'll be a marriage if you want it. And he's like, sign me up. Then she starts getting realistic. She goes over the logistics. I was just like, I guess if I'm going to have a demon seed and it has to be a Carrington, at least the kid will be taken care of. Your dad will be all happy that you have a kid and whatnot. It'll probably get a sweet brass crib just like baby Blake. Maybe it'll even get its own room. Kid will be taken care of. It'll have 15 nannies. I'd never have to even look at them. Might be a sweet deal. Adam is not appalled. And if he is, he's going to get over it. He's like, dang, that's how you talk? That's how you feel? And she's like, yeah, listen, it's time to face reality. I'm living on the edge. Dare I say it, is this Kirby's Batgirl arc? Is this her origin story? It feels like she's flipping. You know my theory. Good girls can go bad. Bad girls can never go good. I think Kirby's just like, caution to the wind. Forget it. And Adam's like, that doesn't sound like you. She goes, well, I'm a fast learner, homeboy. And then she plants a passionate kiss on him. Dare I say it, she even looked like she had a little bit of desire in her eyes. He is all too thrilled. He don't give a damn if this is... He's like, listen, if you're going to be in a bad marriage, you might as well be in a bad marriage with me. Okay, so flashback to Alexis. The next day, she's got a fresh silk robe. She's on the phone trying to figure out what's what with Fallon. She's not really getting the respect she deserves this episode. So what does she do as a mature, rational woman? She takes it out on the next available poor soul that has the audacity to walk in front of her. Mark comes walking into the penthouse, walks over to Alexis's little spread that she always has, and grabs a big chunk of bread and starts smearing caviar on it. Now, Alexis is no doubt thinking, God, this guy's a yokel. She's staring at him. And then she says, baby boy, you know that's not peanut butter, right? Like, you shouldn't be smearing gobs of caviar across this bread. She's in no mood for the foolishness because it was actually Krista who hung up on her. Alexis calls. She wants to cuss out Blake. Blake's not home, so she's cussing out Crystal to deliver the message to Blake. Crystal, click. She ain't got time for that. She has other things to do this episode. So after Mark is scolded for spreading caviar like peanut butter, he goes, you know this is all your fault, right? If you had never come between me and Fallon, none of this would have happened. Sir, how do we get to that conclusion? What are you talking about? Well, Alexa says, coming between you and Fallon was one of the best things I ever did. And then, quote, please take your criticism and your caviar sandwich and go to your room. I love her. I don't know why caviar sandwich tickled me so much. But then, because he did look, it didn't seem like it goes together. It didn't seem like that would be something you ate. But also, why does she have a big basket of bread, a bucket of champagne, and then some little hors d'oeuvre, like little saltines and wheat thins and stuff around this platter of caviar? Okay, maybe he shouldn't slather it on the bread, but what's the bread for? I went and Googled it because I remember this episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where Kyle goes over to her sister, Kathy Hilton. You know, Kathy Hilton is Paris Hilton's mom. They are super duper rich. And Kathy said she prepared lunch, but it's basically a baked potato and caviar. Now she was preparing it weird. So I didn't really believe that it was a real thing, but apparently it is. And a caviar sandwich is apparently a real thing. I guess you just don't have it on a 4-inch thick piece of bread. He looks like Oliver Twist asking for simple. Oh, and she's not done. After she gets done sunning Mark, sending him to his room with his caviar sandwich, her real son shows up, Adam. She's pissed because she's like, what I hear? Why I have to hear that you're going to marry that girl? And he's like, you mean Kirby? I absolutely am. She's like, damn it, Adam, you're not in the backwoods of Montana. Use your brain. She is fed up with her sons hooking up with these backwood broads. Now, although I don't agree with her fully, I'm just like, this isn't Sammy Joe. I kind of get that one. Y'all know how I feel about Claudia the Stallion. There will nary be a word spoken against her. As a matter of fact, I will say this, though. On this episode, Alexis's bullying has paid dividends. Claudia's wardrobe has been elevated. She looks amazing. She has this really cool sweater where I don't know what it is, like that kind of, it's not cashmere, but maybe it is because they're wealthy. But it's like a two-tone sweater and it's cream on top and then it has a sweetheart pattern, like on the bodice, a sweater bodice, if you can imagine. And it's a deeper shade of brown. She's wearing all khakis. Her hair is less crunchy. She went from her Peter Pan crunch peanut butter hair to Jiffy smooth and creamy. She looks fantastic. So good on Alexis for bullying her. Anyway, Alexis is good and fed up with her sons marrying these less than stellar women. All of her kids are absolutely bonkers. They keep hooking up with the exact wrong type of person. So once Adam, like I said, she and Adam are not going to trip and fall over each other. As a matter of fact, they're about 5 or 6 feet away at a safe distance. They are standing in their superhero poses. They are sturdy. They're going to talk crap. And if it means they get beat up for it, so be it. Adam lets her know in not so many words that he's going to marry Kirby, like it or not, whether she has a baby or not. That's going to be Mrs. Adam Carrington. So her name is Kirby Anders Colby Carrington, or CAC for short. Alexis is furious. She spins on her heels after Adam leaves, gets on the phone, and she's still on that bitterness because nobody is listening to her, so everybody is going to get it today. She's like, Logan Hess, you're still slime and broke, and I know you love money, so go to the papers and collect everything you can about a crime from 23 years ago. You're looking for a crime committed by Alicia Anders, her uppity, snooty, never could be me husband named Joseph, and she had a little dirty baby named Kirby. I'm sorry, I might be throwing in a couple of adjectives that she didn't speak, but you get the gist. The crime is murder. Now, call me crazy. It doesn't seem like you need a PI for that. Why would you hire a PI to go to the newspaper to collect something that has already been printed? I get it, though. She's just in a sour mood. She was after being hung up on, her daughter's in a coma, her son's marrying the help, and her sexy time was interrupted. Somebody has to pay. Now, speaking of sexy time, let's talk about Tracy real quick. Tracy finesses her way into being Blake's publicist because he has been asked, much like Bobby on Dallas, to be a chairman for the party at the state level. So he's going to be a politician, long story short. Tracy figures that out by seducing one of the lackeys that works for Blake. She's like, hey, we just had great, sexy time, right? How about I tell your wife, unless you make sure I get the job for Blake? He's like, done. Someone else who's done is Adam. Adam is done lying. He's done hiding. He's not going to run away from anything else. I will say he's been very good about that. I can't think of any secrets he's harboring at this point. And he goes back to the house after talking to his mom. He sees Jeff because no one ever moves out of the Carrington mansion. And he says, Jeff, can I have a word with you? They go into the library and apparently he spills his guts. He tells Jeff everything about how much he hated him and that he maybe kind of sort of had his office painted with poison to watch him slowly succumb to it, to said poison. Now, Jeff is furious. I have to admit, at first I was like, oh my gosh, he's overreacting. But then as I just said it all out loud, hi, Jeff. Sorry I tried to kill you and then I framed my mom. But yeah, it was definitely me. I tried to kill you with paint because you embarrassed me and I felt like you were being disrespectful and really mean to me. So I wanted you to die. I was like, Jeff, you can accept that. After all, you did push Fallon in front of that car. But Jeff, understandably so, is not okay with it. He's like, wow, you tried to kill me? Okay. I could kill you, but I know something better. I'm too rich for all that. I'm not going to have any more blood on my hands. I'm going to have you arrested. You're going to spend the rest of your miserable life in jail. And Adam's like, bro, dude, I confess, I'm sorry. Jeff's like, what? You're sorry? What were you, crazy? I was like, actually, yeah, I was a little, the dosage was off. I wasn't really on it like that. But yeah, I would say I was a little bit insane for sure. That's what, yeah, for sure. Jeff's like, yeah, right, homeboy, you're going to jail. Adam's like, bro, please. I just lost my baby. I just lost my daughter. Isn't that punishment enough? Jeff makes a cardinal mistake here. He says no. As far as I'm concerned, that's just the beginning. Adam flips a switch like, nope, okay, fine. Guess what? I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry anymore. Now live with that. It reminds me of myself. If I've already told this story, I'm really sorry. I'm getting up there, I'm going to repeat stories from time to time. My cousin and I had this really dumb game for like a week in high school where you like pop each other in the mouth. It's really dumb. I don't even know what we were thinking. But I had done that to her, and then I walked into a classroom, and it was like the doors in our classroom were sort of deep, probably about 2 feet deep before you couldn't see around the wall. So she hid, and once she heard my voice, she just kind of hung out, and then she got me. Pow, hit me. And I said an expletive. I don't know what I said. Well, I didn't realize that there, A, was a teacher, and B, it wasn't the normal teacher in the class. It was this coach who was high-key really, really cute. But I didn't see him in there. Not that it was important. I just got slapped in the face. I was trying to just like focus my life. So he hears me and he goes, hey, I can't believe you said that. And even in my pain, my face is throbbing. I'm trying to like comfort myself. I say, oh, coach, blah, blah, blah. I'm really sorry. I didn't see you there. I'm so sorry. And he stands with his hands on his hip. And it's like, no, that's not good enough. And I said, well, that's all you're going to get, homie, because my face hurts. And I'm not sorry. As a matter of fact, I take that back. Listen, if my face hadn't been stinging, I probably would have said the same thing. Like, how dare you? First and foremost, I wasn't even speaking to you. I was speaking to her. I need to apologize to her. I can't even get to that. And you're jumping in as if I attacked you. I felt away. I apologize. You didn't accept my apology. Okay, it is. It's up now. I ended up getting in-school suspension, and my principal was so shocked. He was like, you? I was like, I know. It was fine. It was a day off. I didn't care. I didn't even get in trouble. But anyways, I understand. I'm not condoning, but I'm saying, Adam, I understand. If I offer you an apology and you don't take it, fine. Although I think Adam is wrong in this because he actually did intend to harm Jeff. But Adam flips and he's like, okay, fine. Not only am I not sorry, I take back everything I ever said. And Jeff's like, but you confessed. You confessed to Blake. He was like, I just lost a baby. I was stressed out. Don't forget I'm a lawyer. What judge is going to believe? What judge is going to take that confession under those circumstances? And Jeff's like, well, you just confessed to me. To which Adam says, what confession? Who said that? Who said that? I didn't say that. Dum, dum, dum. I like it. Let's get him riled up a little more. I like this version of him. I'm just going to say this too. So the next morning, Adam goes to breakfast. Steven is there and Steven tries to give him a little bit of wisdom or like scold him. Like, well, I heard what you did to Jeff and I don't like it. Why is this version of Steven such a dud? I mean, he never really had a ton going on, but he was interesting. He was working towards something. Steven got that brand new face. He came back feeling way too cocky, feeling himself. I don't like it. I'm just going to say it. Steven is not my fave this season. He and Fallon are duds. And as far as I'm concerned, Adam, it's time to stop trying. Who cares if they don't want to sit with you at Christmas? Who cares if you don't get a white elephant gift? Good riddance. I'm sick of both of them. And the Denim Don Juan, Jeffrey Colby, is also a dud. He goes in to try to like sneak support Kirby, like asking, are you sure if Adam's the one? Shut up, Jeff. Didn't he gaslight her her entire pregnancy? And that's another thing while I'm on it. I don't even really believe this, but let's just throw this out there. Tell me why every time Jeff gets a wife or every time Jeff bangs somebody, something crazy happens to them. Think about it. Fallon, Claudia the Stallion, Kirby. I don't know, Jeff. All your wives ended up in a hospital. I don't know what to think about that. All right, we are in the home stretch. So Alexis and Jeff are at the hospital. She's in like this beautiful dark coat, looking fantastic. And Jeff's there and he's like, he apologizes to her. I kind of forgotten that he thought she tried to kill him. And she's like, yeah, don't even worry about it. Nurse comes running in. Hey, your wife is stirring. Come, Mrs. Colby is stirring. Come get her. Come look at her. So Alexis and Jeff run into Fallon's room and she's still sort of sweaty and slowly waking up. Oh. And we get to see the side profile of Jeff and Alexis. And it's at that very moment that I realize they have the exact same haircut. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the trailer for hair. Alexis's only difference is that she flips hers up. She actually obviously puts curlers in hers and then she flips the little back up. She likes the little Carol Brady boop-a-doop, the little letter J in the back of her head. And Jeff wears his flat, just a light little blow dry or whatever. I was like, oh my God, they have the exact same haircut. It looks great on both of them. Not being critical here. Fallon wakes up and oh my gosh. And Jeff goes, I'm here, Fallon. Jeff, is that you, Jeff? And Alexis, darling, I'm here too. Mother, oh God, no. You disrespectful little wench. I can't believe... What? I just wanted to make sure you were alive. How dare you? Alexis is once again embarrassed, so she storms out. And right about this time, Crystal shows up to the hospital in one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So she's wearing like a blue pantsuit, a periwinkle colored pantsuit with short sleeves. Looked like she grabbed an Afghan that was being used as a table runner and slung it over her shoulder and made a really dramatic cape of many colors. It was beautiful. I guess she's bringing a little bit of that down home Ohio to Denver. It was so cute. I'm like, let it get cold here. Let it get 10 degrees colder. I'm going to find me an Afghan and sling it over my shoulders too. It's adorable. Anyway, Alexis has not forgotten that Crystal had the nerve to hang up on her while she was cussing her out. She's like, Crystal, I bet you thought you were real. I'm summarizing here. I bet you thought you were real cute hanging up on me. I was trying to leave a message for Blake. I don't know why you can't just leave a message for your good for nothing husband for me. And Crystal, cool as a cucumber, is like, oh, I mean, I remember you commanding a couple things. I don't remember you asking me to do anything. Alexis says, when I leave a message, especially with an ex-stenographer, I expect it to be passed on. Oh, gold. Do my bidding, secretary. And then she leaves. She's like, fine. Trying to decide if any of this is worth mentioning. I'm going to save the last little bit for you guys because it's enjoyable. A lot is revealed in the last 4 minutes of the show. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. When I first watched it, I thought, it wasn't really about anything. But on second glance, I love kind of letting it sit for a day because then I'm like, okay, yeah, there was a lot to this one. Love, love, love the writing. Alexis is eating them alive every chance she gets. Tracy is back at the helm. And okay, I have decided Tracy's not necessarily a bad girl. She really is the most qualified for that job. There's no reason why she shouldn't be the head of PR and Crystal could have another role, or I don't know. He could have made her VP of something else. You know what I'm saying? Tracy is willing to do what needs to be done. Dynasty has always been really big on this big swelling and dramatic music. They've upped the ante this season because I'm like, they were playing dramatic music over what Tracy was doing. And I was like, I guess I don't really think that's all that odd. All right, guys. I think that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Don't forget to leave me a text within the show notes, or you can leave me an email at soaploorpodcast@gmail.com. In the meantime, in between time, if you really want to go off on somebody and they won't pick up the phone, leave a message, send a letter. Make them go through the trouble of reading your words before they rip it up. Either way, you'll never hear a vowel tone. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.